There we go. That's it. Now we got things popping. Now we're going. Should we go hatless? It's getting a little warm, a little stuffy in here. We're going to say fuck the hat for tonight and move right along. Anyway, Roman Dolidze just got absolutely biatched by Fluffy Hernandez. Impressive performance by Fluffy Hernandez. Man, what a card. Some ups and some downs, some boring parts of the card. Of course, we had to slog through some split decisions, some unanimous decisions that were a little bit suspect. We're looking at you, Steve Erceg. I'm a big fan of Steve Erceg, of course, but listen. Ode Osborne, I got to rewatch it. Ode Osborne looked pretty damn good in that second round, was popping him with that right hook early and often in the fight. I mean, that's what dropped him, and that's what kept hurting him throughout the entirety of the 15 minutes. Regardless, a card, I mean, what can you say about it? A card that both really excited me at times and had some of the highest highs that you'll see in MMA. Shout out to Elijah Smith and the Rampage Slam, and some of the lowest of lows, in which Angela Hill and Yasmin Lucindo quite literally put me to sleep. Yeah, quite literally, I was falling asleep in my chair watching these fights. Not a good look, UFC. Not a good look, Angela Hill. But you know what? We persevered, we woke back up, and we came to see the Dominic Reyes of the flyweight division. Steven Erceg got it done in impressive fashion, somehow managed to dupe the judges into thinking he won. And listen, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to dispute a Steve Erceg win at this point. Of course, he's had his troubles, had his woes. Give me a second to pull up Tapology here. We'll get all the stats, all the shit going. But, Bro did not win this one. Not tonight. I don't think so. But again, got to rewatch it. Got to see. Got to do the research. You know what I mean? You can't just say that. You got to go do the research. But yeah, Steven Erceg back in the win column. 13-4. Almost fell to 13-5. Of course, this would have been a absolutely epic slide of unimaginable proportions if he had lost this one. There we go. Maybe we can see me a little better there. Anyway, right. Pantoja arguably beats Pantoja in a title fight. I mean, this is shades of Dominic Reyes, of course. This is why Dominic Reyes almost beats John Jones. That he falls in a bit of a skid, right? Takes a couple losses. This could have been Steve Erceg here. Almost, arguably, beats Pantoja, aside from one faulty decision in the 5th round to grapple with a guy who's beating you in the grappling and better at you than in grappling, and your only advantage was the striking, and you were beating him up on the feet. Steven Erceg. What can we say about the guy? I mean, an absolute stud, obviously. Fun fighter. Ode Osborne, been in the game, done his time. He's just not all that interesting. I don't mind. Now, of course, this sounds terrible of me. One week I'll be complaining that the judges are, absolutely fraudulent, fake. But listen, when it works out this way and Erceg can get back in the win column, call me flip-floppy. Call me wishy-washy. Steven Erceg gets a dub, and I'm not upset about it. Could have been on a 4-fight win or losing skid here. I mean, good grief. I can't even get the words out. It's so detestable to me that I can't even get the words out that he could potentially have been on a 4-fight losing streak here, but somehow the judges gave it to him. And again, this is one that you got to go back and rewatch, because that second round, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. First round, Ode Osborne drops him, does the damage. Steve Erceg comes back, 3rd round, has a control time, almost locks up a couple of submissions. It looked like Ode Osborne might have tapped in there somewhere in that last rear naked choke attempt, but that aside, he won the 3rd round. So it's really the second round. Ode Osborne, to me, the memorable shots of the round were him landing the right hook clean on the side of Steve Erceg's head. Steve Erceg racking up a minute or two of control time. Not all that interesting. Meanwhile, in the main event, though, fluffy. Lots of control time, but it's a Marab style of very active, fun, entertaining. I mean, Everybody's going to be out there saying it's not entertaining. When you're active, you're up, down, you're striking, you're throwing something, whether it's knees to the leg, to the thigh, punches to the top of the dome, to the back of the head. I don't care where they're being thrown. Just throw some stuff, and I'll be more than slightly interested in you. I was more than slightly interested in Fluffy. I've been high on the Fluffy hype train after the Vieira win. Of course, that was probably the most notable moment of his career. Somehow defeating Rodolfo Vieira, jiu-jitsu master, jiu-jitsu practitioner, black belt phenom, and Fluffy the kickboxer took him down, took him out, submitted him, outpaced him, outran him essentially, just put it all over him, bullied him, beat him down. He destroyed Roman Dolidze tonight. Very impressive, in very impressive fashion. I'm not at all shocked, though. I predict it. Go check the verdict. Shout out verdict. I mean, 4th round submission. Pretty sure that's exactly what I had. Every single pick I had. Now, of course, I don't disclose this to the public because it just takes too much time for me to give the analysis that the fights deserve. I don't have that much time. I don't have that much time. I can't do it. But I had every single fight on the main card picked correctly. Elijah Smith, of course, who figured that he would lose that one. Not many people out there. By vicious slam, though? Absolutely not. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming at all whatsoever. But shout out to Rampage Jackson. Elijah Smith, what a fucking monster that guy is. What an absolutely devastating slam that he threw down. Whoa, my gosh. That guy. Listen, do I still have questions about his cardio? Yes. Do I still have questions about where his future may lie? Yes. But you know what? It was a fantastic, fantastic win tonight by Elijah Smith. Julius Walker. I was high on this guy. Not very interesting to say the least. This guy, wow. You got Rafael Sequeira coming in, riding a 2-fight losing streak, right? Let me double check that. Let me get the facts straight for you. Don't want to tell you untruths. Yeah. Knockouts, very similar fashion, hands down, backed up against the fence. Modestas Bukauskas takes him out. Ibo Aslan takes him out, runs through some guys, right? I mean, who is this guy? What has he done? Where has he been? Apparently, nowhere. And somehow Julius Walker, who I had high hopes for, who I thought was interesting coming into this one, who I thought may do something, absolutely did nothing. Super unimpressive. Now, was it a fun, scrappy little back and forth fight? Yeah. But did I care? At the end of the day, do I care about Julius Walker? Nah, man. He's not. Now, maybe I'll eat shit. But this guy, round 1, ground and pound finishes, round 1 submissions. We got a bunch of round 1 finishes. Now, who's he fighting? HD Esley. 0-1. All right, fine. It's your first fight. We'll forgive it. 3-5. Brian Porritt, rear naked choke. 3-5 is not a great record. Mike Cook, second fight. 0-3. Niall Bartling, 6-1. Legit. Okay. 7-5. Bevan Lewis, 7-5. Decent record. Myron Dennis, 20-11. Finishes all the way up. And now that he's secured himself a spot, took the fight against Alonzo Menifield on short notice. Good for him. I like that. That's a good look. Always ready, always active. But good fucking grief, man. What are you doing? Barely eking out a victory over Rafael Sequeira. You got a lot of work to do to impress me. I'm sorry to say it. Jocelyn Edwards. I'm not high on the women's MMA a ton of the time. Now, do I watch it? Do I keep up with the high rankings? Yeah, I absolutely did used to. Priscilla Cachoeira has been around forever. She got a vicious knockout in her last fight. She got knocked the fuck out, though, by Jocelyn Edwards. The younger lady gets it done. What more can you ask for? Impressive there. Uros Medic shocked me. He got hurt a little early against Gilbert Urbina and then just came cracking back with a straight right hand down the pipe. Drops Urbina, finishes him off. Solid there. Solid there. What more can you say? Two guys that I have absolutely zero interest in. Made for a fun finish, made for an interesting little scrap for about a minute and a half. But what are we gaining from this card? Cody Brundage, of course, in the first fight. Cody fucking Brundage. Eric McConaughey. Eric fucking McConaughey. Good for him, man. Whatever. He's training with Jared Cannonier. Right? Loses to Nursultan Rozaboyev. He's going to win over Maki Pitolo. Watch out. Maki Pitolo, 2023 victory. I mean, you just start getting into these suspect records, these suspect guys. Why is he in the UFC? Because he takes chances, came in, did them a favor, and now he gets to stay with the company, gets a win. Now he's going to be sticking around. He's not UFC level. He's not ready. He's not. Cody Brundage just absolutely fucking stinks. And listen, could this guy go out there, go compete, Bellator, PFL, maybe do a decent job? I don't know. I don't know where Cody Brundage is, but when I see a guy smiling after a fight, doing nothing, essentially nothing, I'm just unimpressed. I'm just unimpressed by Cody Brundage. I'm unimpressed by Eric McConaughey. Did they throw down? Was there a moment in the fight where they were just slinging back and forth and it was kind of fun and I was on the edge of my seat? Absolutely. But I can get on the edge of my seat for Billy Bob Joe and Sally Mae down the street, you know, when they go out, local gym, throw down. I mean, that's the kind of shit. If you're an MMA fan, of course, that shit's going to get you hyped in the moment. But, like, you have to then be objective and step away after the fight. What happened? Assess what happened. Objectively step away. Look at what is going on in the fight. Look at the damage being done. Look at the techniques being used. Look at the scrambling abilities. Look at the takedown attempts, where they put their head on these takedown attempts, where they're going for certain submission attempts instead of position or position over submission. Either way you want to flip it. What are these people doing in their fights? Now, I saw MMA Guru on Twitter. He's calling Fluffy boring, saying this, saying that. When I look at Fluffy, I see a guy like Merab, somebody who's not really great anywhere. He says he started with kickboxing. He's not a great kickboxer. He throws elbows. He is an MMA fighter. Dricus du Plessis, Renier de Ritter. These guys fight like they're running downhill, right? Like they just fight, they throw. Every single strike they throw, they're just throwing, right? But they're smart. Look at what he did. Anytime Roman Dolidze went for some kind of dangerous leg roll or rolled for the legs in a dangerous way, Fluffy Hernandez backed out of it, held down Roman Dolidze, snatched up a cradle position, sat there with it, weighed heavily on him, right? Expended the energy, made Roman Dolidze have to go down, get up, go down, get up, and just peppered him. Peppered him up in the clinch, threw the knees to the thigh. Is it absolutely enthralling? Is he going to knock anybody out anytime soon? Probably not. But the pace that he puts on guys is absolutely phenomenal. This is like Merab, right? Merab doesn't have knockout power. He really doesn't have any super dangerous submission ability, but he just wears you down to the point where you give up. Whether it's to strikes, whether it's a knockout, whether it's to some kind of entanglement and then a submission. Either way you slice it, Roman Dolidze collapsed. He went 5 hard rounds with Marvin Vettori just a couple of months ago. You'd think, okay, this guy can go 5 hard rounds with Marvin Vettori. He can't go 5 hard rounds with Fluffy Hernandez. This guy is absolutely running down the hill. And nobody can stop that shit. It's like a steamroll effect. You just build upon the next. When you got the chin, you got the durability, you're strong, you're hefty in there. Roman Dolidze is the much bigger guy. The much stronger guy, if I had to guess. But the way that Fluffy fights is just a full gambit of the mixed martial arts, right? You saw those beautiful elbows in there. Roman Dolidze had a couple of elbows himself. He was missing out on some easy calf strikes. Easy calf kicks could have been landing on Fluffy Hernandez. Had his leg sitting right there. Izzy Adesanya likely chews that guy up. But does he get the win? Probably not. But chews up the leg of Fluffy. That's an absolute fact. He just leaves it right out there. But it's kind of a sacrifice that he has to make in the game to do what he's doing, to be just steamrolling, heavy on the front foot, walking forward, and just running through guys, right? Just absolutely steamrolled Roman Dolidze. I didn't think it was going to be that crazy. I thought it was just going to be a little bit of back and forth, some striking on the feet, and maybe he'd latch up some kind of choke, right? But I mean, and I saw a tweet earlier. I read it right after the fight. But like, Roman allowed Fluffy to just use the fence to his advantage, right? You saw Roman grabbing the fence. The pressure was just too much. The wrestling up against the fence. The cage control. Now, of course, this is something that they score. In the rule books, they score cage control. But guys like Islam Makhachev, Hamzat Chimaev, Ilya Taporia, Dricus Duplessis, Rainier de Ritter just the other week, like, these guys use the cage and use the control of the octagon to their advantage. The pressure and the stopping wall, right? That the guys run into. They can't go anywhere if you're up against a fucking fence, if you're up against the wall. Weaponizing the fence to the advantage. Pantoja does this. Merab does it. You've got nowhere else to run. When you're running from a guy and you get backed into a fence, backed into a corner, there is nowhere to go. Look at the Gerald Meerschaert fight with Hamzat Chimaev, the way that he waltzes around the cage, takes position, flips position, leaves him with nowhere left to go, and just one-shot KOs the guy. It's a perfect example of it. Anyway, he's a smart fighter. Fluffy's a smart guy, smart fighter. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He made the right decisions, avoided danger, got into the pocket and was slinging with Roman at one point in the second round. Very exciting. Had me on the edge of my seat. Who's going down first? I like that. A fucking warrior. Call it boring. Go ahead. Colby Covington in his prime. Merab. These are just guys that have recently done a similar thing. It's exciting when they're laying damage on guys. There's a difference between that and a guy like Mario Bautista, a guy like Ian Gary, who are both very talented fighters, who are both very good fighters, but they're boring as shit. They do it to stall and to win seconds of a fight, to rack up control time. There's nothing more to it. Merab, Fluffy, two guys, very similar games. They're doing it to outwork you, to tire you out, to beat you down slowly. That is their game. There is a difference. And yes, I do enjoy watching it. Call it boring if you want. Fine, fair enough. Maybe it is a little boring, but I like to see it because he's throwing elbows in there, using the knees, waiting for perfect opportunities to strike, waiting for perfect opportunities to scramble away, to scramble out, to throw guys down to the ground, to trip guys, to sweep their legs out from under them. It's mixed martial arts, man. You don't need to see KOs in the first minute every fight. Sometimes you can have a tactical, clinical fight for 25 minutes and it's very exciting, very enthralling. Sometimes there's slow-paced fights that are even entertaining. This was a good showcase of Fluffy Hernandez. Dean Thomas, Alan Joban on the broadcast, post-fight, they're saying, oh, this is the best middleweight we've ever seen. This is the best performance. This guy beats and wipes the floor with everybody at middleweight. I don't know about that. I cannot say that confidently. And I don't even agree with that. I don't really agree with that. Dricus Duplessis, a much more dangerous fighter than Fluffy. He's got real pop in his shots. This guy goes tooth and nail with everybody, and he climbs into submissions. No matter what, this guy is going to kill or be killed in the octagon. Fluffy's same way. You saw the way that he dragged off Roman Dolidze. Fucking nasty. Absolutely filthy. The way that he snatched up his neck and just walked away with him. Brutal. It's fun to watch. And I don't know. I'm not going to fault you for not enjoying it. But I'm just going to look at you a little bit silly. Like, how is that not enjoyable? He is using the full gambit of mixed martial arts to dominate another fighter. Right? This guy isn't just waltzing around, point fighting, pot shotting, crushing somebody against the cage and nothing else. You saw what he did there. He stood with him, grappled with him, pushed him up against the cage. He used every facet of MMA that he had in his tool belt, right? Used it all. Loved watching that shit. Fluffy. Good shit, man. Good shit. And listen, if you're watching this at a later time, if you're in the chat, let me know. Let me know why that shit's boring. It's not the most exciting style in the world. Would I rather watch somebody flip and fly all over the octagon? Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's mixed martial arts. He's mixing the martial arts. Going from one to the next seamlessly. Striking to get into the clinch, to then either sweep, trip, take down, whatever he's going to do. Throw some elbows, knees on the break. I love to see that shit. That's what I want to watch. Now, don't get me wrong. Slanging and banging on the feet for minutes at a time is great and exciting. Absolutely. But it's not always the only thing I want to see. But I mean, here we go. Let's just get into it. Shout out Crossover MMA. Elijah Smith, KO contender of the year. Huge finish. Rampage Jackson, light. Or is it better than Rampage Jackson? Of course, much smaller fighter. Is this better? You tell me. Picks him up. Look at him. He's got him over his head. Full extension. I mean, he's putting every single muscle of his body into slamming this guy through the canvas. Boom. Right on the back of the head. Absolutely filthy, nasty, disgusting. I mean, this is how people really get hurt in the octagon. You tell me we can't knee on the ground? We can't bring back soccer kicks? That shit's way worse than any of that. No punching in the back of the head, but I can slam you with all my might on the back of your head. Come on now. Come on now. What a joke. Anyway, fantastic finish. Love seeing that shit. Resourceful. Kazama had the armbar. Elijah Smith said, you know what? I ain't getting out of this. There's only one way to deal with this. Bada bang, bada boom. Rampage Jackson sitting in the back of my room. Reminded me of this one. Good grief. What a fucking stud, dude. What a fucking stud. Fantastic. Let's watch it again. Picks him up over the head. He's got the body all into it. Look at the back. I mean, he's got every muscle, every fiber of his being into putting this guy's head through the canvas. God damn, son. 2 huge follow-up shots. Beautiful. Here's Jocelyn Edwards. Also, fun finish. Great combination. Again, shout out Crossover. Good combination. I can't dispute it. I'm not the biggest WMMA fan, but good God, this was fantastic. Good grief. Priscilla Cachoeira, of course, heavy hands. She's getting older. Chin's kind of gone. Not really there anymore, but guess what? Beautiful combination finish here. Yay. Uppercut, left hook, right hand. Finishes it off. Bink, boom, pow. And she's down for the count. Couple follow-up shots. Fantastic. Great combination work by Jocelyn Edwards there. Uros Medic, also picking up a win for himself. Staying in the UFC. Somehow this guy sticks around. But Martin Budai, shout out Martin Budai. Poor guy. You know what? I said it the other day. You go back and rewatch the clip. You go back, rewatch the video. Fuck Martin Budai. Boring decision fighter in the UFC. Guess what? Goes over to Octagon MMA. This guy's going to make a fuck ton of money, and he's going to get some exciting finishes. over an octagon where he belongs. Decent level of competition over there. I got nothing against the guy personally. It's just the fight style. You come into the UFC, higher caliber fighter, you can't get any finishes, get the fuck out. Erceg gets a fantastic finish. This guy doesn't deserve to be in the UFC, though. I look at this guy and I say, this guy doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. Go over to the PFL, go to Bellator, wherever the fuck you want to go, man. You can make more money and be more successful outside facing lower levels of competition. I say, why not? Everybody talks about it. Oh, it's so bad that they cut these guys and they don't pay them well. Then don't fucking be here. Then don't fucking be here, man. You don't need to be. You can go make more money outside. Martin Buday gets brought into the cage earlier today, signs a giant contract. It's all a WWE facade and all a funny act, a skit, right? And it goes viral on social media. That's what I want to see. That's where Martin Buday belongs. That's where he thrives. That's where he's going to get finishes. That's where he's going to make money. Why the hell do I want to see him in the UFC? He's not interesting. He's not fun to watch. In the UFC, Erceg gets a knockout tonight, and all of a sudden he's going to get a 4-fight contract, and it's just like, who'd you beat? Gilbert Urbino? When was the last time this guy fucking fought? When was the last guy that guy fought? Why do I need to see these guys over and over and over again in the UFC? They belong elsewhere. They can make more money elsewhere. They can be more exciting. They can be more of themselves elsewhere. If you're a part-time fighter, be a part-time fighter. February 2024, Charles Radke loss, Brian Battle loss, Trayshawn Gore loss. I mean, dude, I just don't understand. Why do I need, like, fantastic finish? I was screaming, holy shit, wow, that was fun. What does it mean? Good for Martin Buday. I can say confidently, I don't need to see him in the UFC. He's not UFC ready, not UFC caliber. He's not ready to go do damage against UFC fighters. I can say one thing, and I can say another thing, and it can be also true, right? He's going to be way happier over an octagon MMA. Erceg would be way happier somewhere else. This guy clearly has some kind of finishing ability against a much lower level of competition. Otherwise, you just get the shit kicked out of him. Here's the finish. Fantastic. Great straight right hand down the pipe. Let's watch it. Straight left hand down the pipe. Fantastic. Drops Gilbert Urbina. Follow-up shot. I mean, it's done. What else we got? Christian Leroy Duncan. Beautiful spinning back elbow. Right? Lands flush. Erceg Anders hasn't been finished in like 18, 19, 20 fights maybe at this point. Christian Leroy Duncan, another guy. He can't do anything to a higher level of competition. But this guy's super fun to watch against a lower level of competition. He's fun as fuck in Cage Warriors. If I was him, I look at my career and I say, I can't beat the best guys, but I can knock out an Erceg Anders. Also isn't really quite UFC level, but he's just tough. But age is catching up to him. The chin seems to be maybe fading with age. We'll see. But I mean, Erceg Anders, an absolute tank, takes a flush spinning elbow straight to the side of the head, and it still takes way more follow-up shots. Huge shots follow up. Christian Leroy Duncan, fantastic finish, but same thing, man. Like, if you want to make more money and you want to have a successful career, go back to Cage Warriors. Go to the PFL. You don't need to be here. You're not going to be at the top level of competition. Do you want to stay in the UFC and make less money? I mean, this is, again, the Martin Buday situation. What is it exactly that you're looking for? What is it? Are you a part-time fighter, full-time fighter? What's the deal? What's the deal? We need to figure this out, because guys like Julius Walker, who do not go for finishes, do not deserve to be in the UFC. Do not deserve to be in the UFC. You should not be going to a decision against Rafael Cerqueira. He was not playing it that safe. He was not playing it as safe as Ibo Aslan the other week. I can see why that one went to a decision. Unacceptable. Don't do that shit. You better fucking impress me next time out, Julius Walker. Christian Leroy Duncan, gaining back some rope. Maybe he's going to go for it. Gene Matsumoto, similar kind of thing here. Miles John's a tough guy. Not the easiest guy to finish. He's a stump of a man, absolutely block-headed, stocky, dangerous, right? He's got power, got a little bit of power. Gene Matsumoto should have wiped the floor with this guy and somehow goes to a split decision. Why? Why are you letting this happen? You didn't get absolutely pummeled by Rob Font. Rob Font's a great fighter. You dropped down and you barely beat Miles John somehow. How does that happen? Gene Matsumoto should have wiped the floor with him tonight. You take a loss, you come back, you got to get a win. I get it. But I start to get skeptical. It's like a 3 strikes you're out kind of deal, right? If you got 3 bad fights, 3 lackluster fights, 3 boring fights, 3 uninteresting fights, 3 fights where there's not a lot of damage. What's up, Wales? What's up? How is it going? Glad you're in here. Get somebody in here. Get somebody talking. Let's do it. Appreciate you for popping in. But listen, it's like a 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. And you can always recover from that. It's MMA. Anything can happen. But Gene Matsumoto, this is strike 1, buddy. Like that's your get back fight. I get it. Julius Walker, that's your get back fight. But I don't really want to see it. There's not a lot of guys out there that impress after coming off a loss, right? Steve Erceg, I think he probably lost the fight. Let's be honest here. Second round, I got to rewatch it. Can't say one way or the other, 100%. But it looked like he lost the fight. He went for it. He was charging forward, trying to get shit done. Could have been his 4th loss in a row. Nearly was his 4th loss in a row, but he was going for it, right? Kai Kara-France, a dangerous, powerful striker, right? He went for it and paid the price. I appreciate that. Appreciate that way more than what a Gene Matsumoto. He was trying. But a Julius Walker, prime example of this. That was fucking awful. And he has to know it. And I saw the reaction after the fight. He's the best basketball player in the UFC. What the fuck do I care, man? What the fuck do I care about that? I like this guy going in, but I don't like him coming out of this fight. So Julius Walker needs to do some crazy shit in his next fight. What do you reckon of this card out of 10? I mean, Wales. My guy. There were some good finishes. I mean, let's be honest. The Elijah Smith finish easily gets this to like a 4 out of 10. Uros Medic, I'll give it like another half, 4.5. Women's fights weren't all that interesting. Jocelyn Edwards, I'll give her like a quarter. So what are we up to? Like 4 3/4. Cody Brundage, that shit was dude, I don't know. I got to think about this. You got to give me a second. Andre Fili got it done against the can crusher Christian Rodriguez. He only beats undefeated fighters. Somehow he beats those guys, but then he loses to fucking Damon Jackson and Andre Fili in 2025. Now, I predicted it. No. 4.5. Listen, I'm adding it up as we go up the card. So Andre Fili, that was kind of a fun one. Put a little bit of a beating. I'm saying, listen, Wales. The Christian Leroy Duncan finish. Bump it up to like a 5.5. Let's keep it moving. Gene Matsumoto, that was a little bit scrappy. 5 3/4. Andre Fili, we'll go to a 6. Yasmin Lucindo. Now Wales. I got to dock him a point here. I mean, this is why I can't get him a 10 or anything close to it. Don't care about the slam. I mean, that was like 4 whole points there for me. Yasmin Lucindo and Angela Hill literally put me to sleep. I was falling asleep. Almost missed the co-main event. I woke up and Steve Erceg's walking out. Erceg, it was scrappy. Dude, I don't know. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. What do you reckon a 6 out of 10 is? I feel like this is a 6 out of 10. Elijah Smith makes up for a lot of that. He makes up a majority of that score. 6 out of 10. Now, I'm a harsh grader. To be fair, Wales. You know I'm not a casual. Why am I acting like one? Explain to me where the fuck this card was super exciting and super enthralling. There were some fun ones, like Cody Brundage and Eric McConaughey. Fucking awful performance by Cody Brundage. They were throwing back and forth at a point. The ladies' fights, I didn't really give a shit about. Uros Medic doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. It was a great finish, though. I can say that there were great moments, but overall, the card had no meaning. There weren't any stakes involved. The Elijah Smith thing makes up for a majority of my score, and Christian Leroy Duncan had a fun finish. Gene Matsumoto, kind of a lackluster performance in that one. Andre Feely, that one could have been better, could have been a little scrappier, wasn't super exciting. Angela Hill put me to sleep. Steve Erceg didn't really win that one. Listen, Wales, that's my point. That's why my score is as high as it even is. There just weren't stakes involved in this one. There were moments. There were big moments in this one. I thought Anthony Hernandez had a fantastic performance. I thought he had an absolutely fantastic performance. But I can't give this more than like a 6.5. I didn't have that good of a time. I literally fell asleep in the middle of the card, bro. There just weren't stakes involved. So many unranked fights that weren't bangers. Think about last week. We had 2 unranked fights that were absolutely massive, right? Mateusz Rebecki, Chris Duncan, Ribovic, Brenner. Those are unranked fights, but they're right outside the rankings. Massively epic fights. That's what I was looking for from Miles Johns Matsumoto. Miles Johns, you're on the last leg of your career. You're about to get kicked out of the UFC. Do something fucking exciting. What am I expecting? Listen, I'm not expecting much. I think this is a fine Apex card. If they're going to keep Apex cards around, Wales, this is the kind of Apex card I expect to have. It's better than nothing. I mean, yeah, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the kind of guy to complain about Apex cards. I'd rather have fights every single week and still stack pay-per-views. You can still have stacked pay-per-views and good localized fight nights and still have Apex cards. Last week's Apex card was fantastic. But to be honest, those 2 fights that were absolutely epic, co-main event and the showcase bout last week, they should have been in a crowded fight night somewhere. They're going to France in just a couple of weeks. Save the Rebecki fight, right? He's European. Could have fooled me, mate, the amount you were shit talking. Wales, the card, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I can shit on the card and still say that it was fine for an Apex event. We're not going to lower our standards here. I love you for being here, Wales, but get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. We can't lower our standards. I'm going to rate an Apex card like I would rate anything else. They're all in the same standard. But I still can, at the same time, appreciate, like, well, it was an Apex card, and it was fine for being an Apex card. It's either shit or it's not. Pick a side, mate. It's a shit card, but it's fine for the Apex. That's just a fact. That's how these Apex cards should be. That's how they should be. I don't want an Apex card with 2 fucking epic bangers like last week on an Apex card. Shouldn't be there. But Ode Osborne and Steve Erceg, kind of where is everybody at? Angela Hill, put her at the Apex. Women's fights, put them at the Apex. Christian Rodriguez, Andre Feely, not the most exciting fighters, put them at the Apex. Gene Matsumoto needs to get back on the proving ground. Put him at the Apex. Christian Leroy Duncan hasn't been super exciting. Put him at the Apex. This card is filled with no names, with no standards, no standing in the game. There are no consequences. So in concept, it's a shit card, but we had exciting moments. Don't tell me to fucking pick a side, bro. Come on. You watch MMA. We can enjoy fights. I enjoyed tonight. There were moments, but it's still a shit card overall. At the end of the day, objectively, I take a step away. I enjoyed myself, had some moments. Cody Brundage scrapped it out a little bit. Christian Leroy Duncan, fantastic finish. Elijah Smith, Epic slam. But imagine if that shit happened in a crowd, bro. Imagine if that shit happened in a crowd. Would have been absolutely fucking bonkers. So objectively, I can step away and say, well, damn, Elijah Smith, where's he from? Right? For example, where's this guy from? Young, interesting prospect, has some exciting fights. Colorado, put him on a Denver fight night card. What the fuck's he doing in the Apex, doing all that shit? If you really think this guy's going to be exciting, going to be epic, don't put him on your Apex cards. You put the guys that are boring on the Apex cards. But respectful again, I'm not going to fucking respect the Apex. I am a proponent of the Apex. Wales, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. I appreciate the Apex way more than most everybody else. I would rather have fight nights every week like you. I would rather it be that way. But I can still shit on the card even when they over-deliver. I can still do that. Nuanced conversations is what we need to have. And Wales, you bringing that here is exactly what we're getting. This is why I need you here, to have nuanced conversations. Objectively on the outside, this card, on paper, dog shit. My opinion is not valid, mate. Listen, I'm a nobody. You can say that all you want. But objectively on paper, there were no consequences to this fight other than the main event. Maybe a couple of prospects may go somewhere in their careers, but there's no consequences. So how can people get invested in it? They can't unless you're hardcores like yourself, like me. I'm enjoying it. I say, somebody might come to me and say, oh, this card's shit. There's nothing on it. Well, Steve Erceg, been on a losing streak. There's interesting fights. Christian Rodriguez, Andre Fili, that's a who's coming, who's going. Gene Matsumoto coming off a loss, but he's an interesting prospect. Christian Leroy Duncan, is he finally going to go for a finish and do something exciting? There's value to the card, but there's also very little consequences at the end of the night. What are you leaving tonight with? Like, oh, what's going to happen next? The only thing is, where is Anthony Hernandez going after this? Elijah Smith had a fantastic fucking performance, but where's he going? I'm not super high on the guy. Fucking fantastic performance. I enjoy it in the moment, and now we step away and can have a conversation. Some of the biggest stars in the UFC came through shit cards like this, and fucking perfect. Exactly my point. Diamonds in the rough. You have to find them as a hardcore and then convince your friends to go watch the Apex card, even though it kind of sucks on paper. And it's highly likely to turn out pretty shit. These last 2 weeks, shit cards on paper, but we've had some really exciting moments in them, right? There's always diamonds in the rough. But Wales, I think you got a little bit of a screw loose here, my friend. Got a little bit of something off here. Of course the biggest stars come through shit like this. They have to prove themselves at the Apex first. That's why I appreciate the Apex for what it is. But I can still say the card is shit, because it was. It had its moments, but it was still shit overall. Now, I'm a harsh grader. I'm a harsh critic of this shit. I'm going to be very judgmental, and I'm going to nitpick it because I love the sport and it can always improve. I think, Wales, this relates exactly to what you're saying. Apex should be pretty much all prospects. You got to prove yourself at the Apex. If you can impress and get finishes and be exciting at the Apex, now you can graduate to fight nights. And then once you impress on the regional scene, in your hometown, wherever, then you graduate to the pay-per-views. That's how it should be. So I'm 100% with you. Some of the biggest stars do come through these cards, but that doesn't make them good cards. You don't say Drickus and Tom Aspinall and Ilya Topuria all being on the same Fight Island card. You don't go back in time and say, oh man, that fight was absolutely awesome just because they were on that card. No, that card was still pretty shit with some great moments on it, with some great prospects on it. You don't rewind the clock and say, oh, that fight night was fantastic because they were on it. You say, look at how shit that card was and look at the fighters that were on it and look at these guys that have moved on to be massive stars. They all proved themselves on this fucking card, and that's awesome to see. Look at who was headlining that card. Look at who was above them, guys that went on to do absolutely nothing in the sport. It's fun to go back and say that because it's true. But I don't have to say the card is good. Like tonight, on paper, this card sucks. There were no consequences to it other than the main event. It's a fact, but it delivered in moments. Some of the other fights, pretty lackluster, not all that interesting. Just because Jocelyn Edwards got a fantastic finish doesn't mean I have to say, oh, the card is great overall. I didn't care. It's fans like me that shit on cards like this and don't realize the potential of fighters like Elijah Smith and Uros Medic. Don't realize the potential of Elijah Smith. What are you fucking talking about? Uros Medic ain't going anywhere, bro. Maybe you're rage baiting me. Maybe you're rage baiting. I don't care. Whatever. Uros Medic ain't going on to do shit, man. He's 32 years old. What the fuck is he going to do? What the fuck is this guy going to do? He lost to Puna Soriano. The guy's got zero brain in his head. Now, I love him because he's an all-action fighter. But I can say at the same time that he's got no fucking brain. Wales, I love you, brother. I appreciate you for being here. You're getting the conversation going. But it's fans like you that can't have a nuanced conversation about this shit. Not everybody's going for the title, mate. Right. But Uros Medic fucking stinks, and he shouldn't be in the UFC. He should be over in the PFL. He should be over in Octagon MMA. He should be fighting in his hometown in front of 60,000 people because that's the environment he belongs in, because that's where he is exciting, and that is where he would thrive. You got to have fighters that have excitement. Uros Medic ain't fucking exciting, bro. He ain't that exciting. He himself is not that exciting. I don't care, man. I just disagree. I don't need to see the guy fumble into finishes. It's fun to watch in the moment, but he's not good. And I don't need to see that in the UFC, bro. I just don't. I don't care about the guy. I just don't care. I can enjoy the fight in the moment, but ultimately, where's he going? Nowhere. Gilbert Urbina does not deserve to be in the UFC either. You're a hard critic, mate? Yeah, I fucking am. Yeah, I fucking am. I said it already. I already said it. Just don't give a shit about the guy. Same thing with Eric McConaughey, Cody Brundage. They put on a little bit of a scrap. Who's my favorite fighter in the UFC? And I'm with you, Wales. I'm with you. Not everybody has to be a title challenger, but you have to show some level of competence, right? You have to show some level of thought. I don't know. Drickus is really fun. Really love Drickus. Ilya's up there. Islam. Probably one of those three guys. Guys that are fucking dangerous, that have a brain. That's who I enjoy watching. Uros Medic. I enjoyed the hell out of this fight. Don't get me wrong. I just don't care, man. It's like the Taffa brothers. They're exciting, but I don't really fucking care about them. They're exciting to watch because they throw hands. Uros Medic is exciting, but I don't care. No lock, 1 of 3A. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't know. I don't have a favorite fighter, bro. I'd have to go by division. I don't think about who's my favorite fighter. Yuri Prohaska's up there. He's not the best guy in the division, but he's fucking exciting, right? I don't know, man. I mean, what do you I'm not going to eat this slop and not say anything about it. I can enjoy it, but I can also critique it. And yeah, I don't have a lock because I enjoy watching MMA. I enjoy a broad range of fighters. They don't fight every weekend. So, yeah, I do have to pick a dozen or so fighters. Khamzat Chimaev, and he's going to batter the shit out of your boy, Dre Curse. Maybe he will. I'm fucking excited for that fight. That is one of the best fights of the entire year, hands down. It's probably the most excited I'm going to be for a fight this entire year. Absolutely stoked for that fight. And Khamzat may go in there and crush Dricus in round 1, but after that, I'm highly suspect. Dricus is dangerous all 5 rounds. Khamzat, fucking steamroller round 1. I can't even pick that fight. I don't know. I like Khamzat too. I wish he was more active, of course. But super exciting fighter, Khamzat is. But I mean, you're giving up rounds to Usman, you're giving up rounds to Gilbert Burns. Of course, he's putting in some like serious training with Sam Calvita in the training lab. Maybe it'll pay dividends. But you just can't, like, guys that are explosive athletes, they just don't have the cardio to go. And if Dricus can survive, he's the kind of guy that's not super explosive and fast twitch. He's not the fastest guy in the room, right? Khamzat's got fucking lightning quick takedowns. And those are the kind of guys that gas out. That's just what you have to give up. Conor McGregor doesn't really have the cardio because he's so fast twitch and so explosive. Yoel Romero, perfect example. The guy fights for about 10 seconds and then he rests for 30. Looking forward to seeing how Pico does. He's got massive potential. He's got massive potential, but he's had massive potential for the past 8-10 years, man. When is he going to capitalize on it? Lerone Murphy's a tough out. Aaron Pico can be exciting. I'm looking forward to next week, man. And I'm looking forward to Aaron Pico. And honestly, Lerone better spark him out, or Aaron better spark Lerone out and take these fucking guys out quickly. One of them take the other out. $316. What am I looking for? $319 is what we're looking for. You're a hard sell, mate? What are you talking about, dude? The fuck are you on about? I'm having a conversation. I'm excited for the fight. And these guys better fucking finish each other, because Lerone Murphy, also not very exciting at all. Nothing impresses me. I just fucking told you that Dricus and Khamzat is my most anticipated fight of the year. Lerone Murphy, Aaron Pico, I'm highly skeptical of this fight. I'm highly, highly confident that this fight may be very boring. So yeah, if nothing impresses me, then yeah, so be it. But guess what? Last week, I just had 2 fights that were between 4 unranked lightweights that I was very excited for, that I knew for an absolute fact that were going to deliver in epic fashion. And guess what they fucking did? 2 fight of the year contenders, bro. What do you mean nothing impresses me? I don't eat up UFC slop. I don't suck off the UFC. I expect better from them because I care. I understand they're a business. I can have a 2-sided conversation with you. Wales, I don't fully disagree with you. Not much impresses me anymore. Not much does. Because I have a high standard for what the UFC is and what it should be. 9 out of 10 main card in Chicago. If you think so, if you fucking think so, it's better than I thought it was going to be. But don't fucking pretend that Lerone Murphy and Aaron Pico is some fucking banger waiting to happen. It's a good pay-per-view. It ain't no 9 out of fucking 10, bro. And listen, you're subject to your opinion. I think that it's an underrated pay-per-view, but it's not a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. But maybe, like you said, you're looking forward to Aaron Pico. Maybe you're looking forward to Carlos, but Michael Page and Jared Cannonier. Oy, I am very worried about that fight. That's not a guaranteed banger. Kaya Sakura, Tim Elliott. People are shitting on that fight, but that's probably going to be very scrappy. Don't crash out on you. I'm pissed off that you're trying to call me a casual, man. I have a high standard for the UFC. They are the best in the business. They're arguably a monopoly. Do better. I'm not going to eat up their slop, and I'm not going to suck them off at every chance I get. Don't be signing fat, morbidly obese heavyweights on the contenders just because they get a knockout. I'd rather watch them in their hometown, competing somewhere in Europe or Russia or wherever on the regional scene, than in the UFC, because then they're getting great applause. They're getting great admiration. They're in their element. That's where they belong. They don't belong in the UFC, man. I know you're not a casual. Come on. It's called banter. I'm just having fun here, man. What's the next fight I'm excited for? Listen, bro. I'm kind of excited for Kai Asakura, Tim Elliott. Prates Jeff Neal's going to be fun. I'm very intrigued by Aaron Pico. Lerone Murphy needs to prove that he's an exciting fighter. This is your chance. Aaron Pico coming in. Bellator guy. Look at how bad the Bellator guys have been looking lately. Lerone Murphy, this is your fucking chance to do some shit. I can have fun with the card. And I can say I'm excited for this, this, and that. But I can still say, like, this could be a way better pay-per-view. Lerone Murphy, Aaron Pico is not co-main event worthy. Absolutely fucking not. It's like it's a kind of pay-per-view that's filled with and Wales, you watch a lot of pay-per-views. You watch every week. Aaron Pico, Lerone Murphy, Jeff Neal, Carlos Prates, Jared Cannonier, Michael Page, Tim Elliott, Kai Asakura. All four of those fights are on the card position. All four of those belong in either the fourth or fifth position. You look at UFC 320, for example, 2 title fights. Not every card has to have 2 title fights, but 2 title fights, one at a higher weight class, one at a lower weight class, and then Yuri versus Khalil. Epic throwdown. Huge stakes. Potentially who's getting the next title shot. Like, that's what I'm looking for here. That's what you need to have in your third spot, a very high-ranking fight in the third spot. This card has a great main event, which carries the card. It's almost a 9 out of 10 just based on Hamzat and Dricus, like you said, but I can't. Like, I got to be honest. I got to be a hard critic. And listen, Wales, you are going to probably maybe enjoy it more than I am because you're less of a critic. But listen, I just sit down and watch the cards, and then I take an hour off, I reassess, I go back and I look at it with an objective lens. This card is solid. It's underrated. It's not that bad. The main event's carrying it. It's got intriguing matchups. I'm excited for Jeff Neal, Carlos Prates. I'm excited for Aaron Pico, Lerone Murphy. I'm not super excited for Michael Page. Of course, Michael Venom Page and Jared Cannonier. I just don't know if that fight's going to deliver. It's very likely that it doesn't. But who knows? Like, maybe it will, right? There's potential. Jared can be explosive. Of course, Michael Venom Page, super explosive out of nowhere, but he's getting older. Like, both these guys are super old, bro. Can they deliver? I don't know. But let's look down the card. I mean, Gerald Meerschaert, Erceg, like, Meerschaert's older, not getting a ton of wins anymore, but he's fun to watch. Mikel Erceg, like, whatever. It'll be a little scrap. Bobby Green, Diego Ferreira. Like, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Hernandez versus Chase Hooper is going to be fun. Can Alexander Hernandez get a brain on him? It's a solid card. Stop trying to find flaws in it. Just enjoy it, mate. Fuck off, bro. Fuck off, Wales. Fuck off, dude. I don't just eat this slop and not say anything about it. I can sit down and enjoy the fight and also be critical of it after the fact. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? How are you going to get good cards if you just eat up all this slop? Do you want this shit to turn into boxing? Because the way that you're talking is turning it into slop. The way that you're talking potentially if we don't criticize this, they're going to give us one main event and then unranked cards. Go back to the beginning of the year and tell me that February pay-per-view was a good pay-per-view. Don't even fucking pretend, bro. Don't even pretend. Don't even pretend that this year's pay-per-views, for the most part, have been pretty underwhelming when it comes to name value and stakes involved. Edson Barboza, hell yeah, we're excited for this one. Edson Barboza dropping down a bit. to Jakar Kosa's level, probably where he belongs. Edson's getting a little older. That's going to be exciting. That one's going to be fun. Nurse Schulten, Rosie Boyev, Brian Battle. That's going to be fun, dude. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be fun. Karine Silva, Deone Barboza. I ain't going to accept shit. I don't give a fuck about that fight. I don't give a fuck about Jessica Andrade. I don't really give a fuck about Lupita Godinez either. But man, I'm looking forward to it because it's a pay-per-view and it's got some decent depth to it. It's some Barboza on the early prelims. Bro, nothing is perfect. Take it how it comes. Fuck no, dude. When they deliver a perfect card, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. What's the last 10 out of 10 card? I mean, UFC 311 was very good. January. I mean, the last 3 fights, was it 3 fights? Yeah, I mean, the last 3 fights of UFC 317 were great. UFC 300. I mean, fuck. What was the International Fight Week with like Drickus and Rob was on the card. Who else was on it? Pantoja Moreno. What was that one, man? Is it UFC 390? UFC 390 was really fucking good. Listen, it's hard for me to give out a 10 out of 10, but UFC 300 was close. I mean, UFC 300 had such highs that I overlooked the Bo Nickel fight on that one. That was shit. He didn't belong there. That doesn't deserve to be on a pay-per-view main card, not especially the biggest card they've ever done. I mean, just because a card is stacked doesn't mean that it deserves. I mean, 299, it was fire, but it wasn't. I think that's a good apt description of it. But it wasn't a 10 out of 10. It was great though. I really liked UFC 311. I really liked UFC 317. Was super fun near the end of the fight, right? Or near the end of the card. It was great. Right? I mean, those last 3, fantastic, bro. Great shit. Dariush, it was all right. Peyton Talbot, that was a little underwhelming. Gregory Rodriguez, Jose Delgado, those 2 back-to-back, fantastic. I don't give it a 10 out of 10 because some of the moments in it just weren't great. Denise beating Hines, it was fun to watch. Hines was really fighting hard. Only me? What you mean, bro? Anyway, Jacoby Smith, that was not as impressive as I needed it to be from him. Vyacheslav Borshev, Terrence McKinney was fucking lights out quick. Great card. I don't give it a 10 out of 10, though. I don't give it a 10 out of 10. But I'm sorry, Wales, unless you're just fucking with me. And listen, this is not, I don't have you in person here. You're just chatting. We're having fun. I'm playing it up. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, of course, just for the camera, just for the potential people who pop in here that want to jump in. But I mean, this was a fun one. Makhachev, Moicano, finish. Merab Umar, that was really exciting from beginning to end. Your Prohaska, dude, that was fucking epic fight. Jelton Almeida got a finish. Bernier de Ritter got a finish. Barcelos rattled Peyton Talbot. Bakoyev, Zachary Reese. I mean, then it starts to just absolutely fall off a fucking cliff. But I can still say that main card absolutely delivered. It was great. It was great, but I don't give it a 10 out of 10. But UFC 390, top to bottom, great card. Oop, not 390, 290. Pardon me. Jurassic Park t-shirt sitting in a space shuttle. It's where I'm at, man. It's where I'm at. This was fantastic. A great card. 290. Ribovic and Camuela Kirk put on a little bit of a scrap. Jesus Aguilar. That was a big finish. I mean, of course, Shannon Ross. The White House card won't impress me. I don't care what it looks like on paper. It has to deliver in terms of all action fights and being an entertaining card. Just because it's good on paper doesn't mean I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I will be impressed when I see the card. I'm hard to impress because I have high standards. Because I want my pay-per-views to be stacked from top to bottom with ranked fights because they can do it. They choose not to. Why the fuck is Mateus Rebecki fighting in the Apex when you've got a fucking French card in 3 weeks? What the fuck's he doing there? Why are you doing that? Embarrassing. Did it deliver? Was I happy? Do I remember the first boxer to fight in the UFC? Who are you talking about? Art Jimerson? Cameron Simon, Terrence Mitchell, another finish. Vitor Petrino, getting a finish. Alonzo Minifield, finish. Denise Gomes, getting a finish. I mean, built like an absolute tank. Of course she was. I didn't really care about that one. No, modern day? I don't know, Wales. Who are you fucking talking about? What is modern day? When does modern day start? Tatsuro Taira. There's your prospect on the card, buddy. There you are, Wales. Robbie Lawler. Of course, send off Robbie Lawler. Then you get into the main card. Bo Nickel didn't deserve to be there. Could have been awesome for Robbie Lawler, but you know what? He got to retire on ABC. Massive crowd, massive viewers, right? That was kind of good. Good solid placement there for Robbie Lawler. Bo Nickel, Val Woodburn got the finish. Didn't deserve to be there. Was the first card that I watched. Now, if we're talking about really studied the card, it was the first one I ever watched, though, because we didn't have like cable TV. I only had 4 main channels when we were growing up. Only lived with 4 channels. In Wales, maybe, I don't know how old you are, brother, but on the older side of things, maybe you only remember like there being a couple of channels. We had like ABC, Fox, CBS, and NBC, right? Like those were the 4 channels, maybe 1 or 2 others. The Fox card was the first one that I remember watching, but I was young. I was really young. And I've always been like a kind of a casual fan. And then like probably the Izzy and Romero card, what was that, 248, was like the first. No. Kamaru and Colby, what was that? You were at UFC on Fox 3? Holy shit, man. That's sick. But listen, I can't like get into the weeds with you on like all the chatter around it, the talk around it. This is where I need you, Wales, to step in and provide the information to the chat, to whoever's going to be here watching, so that we can look at this stuff and enjoy it for what it was. I remember some fights from it, like UFC on Fox 1, Cub Swanson was on it. But I was too young to understand all the minutia and like remember the exact details of all the fights. But probably UFC, what was that? 245, because then 246 was McGregor in January right after. 245 was probably the first one that I got really into, where I was like hardcore hooked, 100% watched the entire card. I mean, there were cards where I watched the whole thing before that, some pay-per-views here and there, but I only showed up for like the big ones, right? Like those were the ones I just wasn't interested in it. Didn't have enough time to sit there. I was busy. James Toney, first boxer to fight in the UFC. Yeah. When was that? When was James Toney fight? How long ago was that? That was 2010, bro. Holy fuck, man. Now, I didn't watch that one live at all. 2010. I mean, Wales, if you want to just dunk on me, then go start your own fucking YouTube channel, bro. I'm all for it. But listen. Even that makes me feel old, because it's been a long time since I watched that fight for the first time. It's been a long time since I watched that fight. Good grief, dude. Good, man. I don't keep up with your stuff. I'm sorry. I don't have time. If I had more time on my hands, I would totally be checking out your stuff. I just don't have a ton of time. I will try to make a point to watch your stuff, man. Because we need more people with nuanced conversations. I don't appreciate that. It sounds like you maybe eat up a lot of this UFC slop, bro. And listen, Wales, I think you'll get a kick out of this, but I don't know how much you're on social media, but every time I turn on social media and they tell me that this is the worst card the UFC's ever put on before, get the fuck out of here with that. All these, like last week, this is the worst card the UFC's ever put on. This week, the UFC's never put on a worse card. No, I found value in this, much like you did, Wales, with some of the prospects, some of the potentially interesting fights. There's been way worse cards over the last 5 years. There's been way worse cards over the last 10 years. There's been way worse cards over the last 15 years. People that are young are fucking stupid, bro. It's this TikTok generation. It's the, I only watch pay-per-views and I have no views outside of personal attacks. And this guy said this and this guy said that. I don't like him. I saw some doofus you're 100% right. But I want to bring everybody together. That's what I'm trying to do with my channel, is like bring you, Wales, you in the chat, throwing all this old knowledge in here. Now listen. Off the top of my head, I wasn't thinking of James Toney. I didn't know what you meant about boxer, but I did know of James Toney. I know that he fought in the UFC. I'm a hardcore fan. I know these things. But I'm not going to like get into the details of like the minutia of like, this was the storyline heading into this fight. This is what I need you here to do, because you've got the experience, you've got the watch, you've got the years and the hours clocked in on this stuff that you can provide to the chat, provide to this channel too, because you know this stuff. I want to bring the TikTok generation in. Wales, I saw some dude saying that South Africa is the worst base for MMA on TikTok. I saw some dude, and I don't know who he is. Listen, he's got his channel, got his stuff, he's going, whatever. He's doing the same thing you and I are doing, trying to grow our channels, trying to do whatever. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this for money. I'm just doing it for fun because I appreciate guys like you, Wales, coming in the chat, throwing in some comments that just get me going, right? That get me excited. I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being a little loud. This is me. This is how I am in real life. I'm just turning it up, but just a notch so that maybe it's a little bit more interesting for anybody that walks in here, that turns it on. But like, this dude said that South African MMA is the worst base for MMA. And he went on this whole 10-minute fucking thing. And I just couldn't believe it. And he basically, I don't know what the deal was. But it seemed rooted in race and how Dricus, because of what he said to Israel a couple years ago, and whether you disagree or agree with it, whatever, I don't care what the views are on it. I don't care who you are, what you look like. Everybody's welcome in this chat because it's more fun to have a conversation and bring people together like Wales and newer TikTok people. But to say that South Africa is the worst base, did I see what Dricus' coach said about Hamzat and how he's going to get into the fire with Hamzat? I'm worried about that. But maybe, and Wales, I don't know if you saw what Sean was saying about Hamzat potentially picking like worse competition in the gym. Now, if Hamzat, and I think you'll agree with this, I don't think this is true, to preface, but if Hamzat is a guy who trains at the gym, and I don't know, Wales, if you ever train anything or have been, there's a lot of race baiters out there, pay no attention to them. No. But the guy's got a big following, Wales, and I think that maybe he means well, and I don't think he's a rage baiter because he loves Lerone Murphy and whatever. Anyway, I'll say in a second, but Dricus' coach said that they want to get in the fire with Hamzat. I think that's interesting because you take Sean Strickland's comments from earlier in the week, and listen, I'm really impressed by Hamzat. Nobody does that to Robert Whittaker, and I'll preface by saying I don't think this is true, but if it is true, this could be trouble because a guy like Dricus is going to steamroll Hamzat if this is true. If it's true that Hamzat likes to go in the gym and pick guys that are not very good, that he can look good against and not lose rounds and not lose moments against. And again, this is where I'm saying, like, Wales, if you've trained at all, and listen, I don't have cauliflower ear. I've got a little bit of a bump on one of my ears from taking some damage, but Listen, I'm not a trainer. I don't have time to train MMA. I don't have time to train mixed martial arts. But if you've been in a gym, if you've been in the wrestling room, guys sometimes pick other guys that they know that they can look good against, right? Khamzat's going to school Dricus. Maybe he will. But if Sean is accurate, and if Khamzat is a guy who picks lesser opponents in the gym, a guy like Dricus is going to expose him. You can be really strong and really explosive all you want, but if you don't have the ability to fight through the pain and be the nail, because Dricus has been the nail at times. Israel was beating up on him on the feet. Sean had his moments. You saw how purple and red he was. He's had to fight through the fire to get wins. Khamzat has fought through the fire, but then gone to a decision and won the decisions, kind of eked the fights out, and he's kind of been gassing out as the fights go on. He's going to have to steamroll Dricus. Maybe the new cardio work is doing well for him. That awkward shit not going to work as a very high-level Khamzat. Have you seen Khamzat stand up against fucking Gilbert Burns, bro? Got his head spun around by Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is no clinical technician. Now, Wales, I got a critique for you, my friend. As an older fan, maybe there's some bias there too. Now, I think Khamzat can steamroll him. He dropped Gilbert, and Gilbert dropped his ass, bro. Dricus has been dropped by damn near everybody, and he's getting the fucking wins, right? But listen. There are good South African fighters. There were a couple of guys today on the PFL Africa card. I'm not calling you old. I said you're an old school fan. How old am I? I'm younger than you, by the sounds of it. I don't even know what generation I am. Gen Z, probably. Anyway, I don't need to tell you how fucking old I am, bro. I'm not calling you old either. I'm saying you're an older fan. Older school. Pardon me, brother. He dropped Gilbert, and he got his ass dropped too. He doesn't have perfect stand-up. Dricus can hurt Khamzat if he survives. Maybe Khamzat has really improved his cardio, but I'm worried about it. I'm worried about him. I bet you're around 30. Close. But dude, this is a toss-up. It's either like Khamzat gets him finished early and dominates and looks like a fucking world beater, and this guy's the most dangerous one-round fighter we've ever seen, one of the most dangerous, or Dricus survives. I mean, look at how Kamaru like barely survived that first round, right? Got out of there. Almost brought that shit to a draw, bro. Khamzat's fighting some really good guys and making them look awful in the first round. He's a first round monster. Killer. But you gotta finish Dricus because he is a fucking steamroller. And he ain't gonna stop. He ain't gonna stop. Look at what Fluffy did tonight. Roman hit him with a couple of elbows. Landed some clean strikes on him. Had his head spinning left and right a couple of times. But Fluffy just fucking bulldozed through it. Had the chin to take it. Walked right through him. Essentially walked right through him. And Dricus could do the same thing to Khamzat if he gasses out. If Khamzat doesn't get the finish, it's very likely that Dricus wins it later on in the fight. I just don't think that it would be a good idea for Khamzat to slow it down and save the energy from round to round. I don't want to see that from Khamzat because I worry about him in that way. Like, does he have enough? Fluffy's modern day Cain Velasquez. That's a good take. I think he's very similar to a Merab as well. Him and Merab fight a lot of the same as well. Not super dangerous in any facet of the game per se. Not like a super dangerous finisher. Cain Velasquez, Merab. Guys that just put a pace and a pressure on you that you just can't take. Roman Dolidze went 5 hard rounds with Marvin. Fucking shitty-ass fight. But he went 5 hard rounds back and forth on the feet. You got to have some cardio to do that. And then Fluffy goes in there and does what he does to him. Crazy. Crazy, man. I was very impressed by Fluffy. I predicted he would get the win. I don't think Roman Dolidze is all that good. I don't think he's that great. Do I remember Kane versus Brock? Not in the way that you mean, like I was there in the moment for it. Not for that one. Crazy fight, though. I mean, dude, it's crazy to me just to even think about a time when Brock Lesnar was in the UFC and doing his shit. I mean, that fight with fucking blanking on his name. Fuck me, dude. It's late. Good grief, dude. I'm falling apart here. That's why I need you here. That's why I need you here, Wales. Keeping me honest. Shane Carwin. Brock versus Mir was legendary. I mean, Brock had some fucking fun fights. Brock was a fun fighter. Didn't have a lot of fights, obviously. I mean, Min Soo Kim, right into fucking Frank Mir. Keith Haring back in the day. Randy Couture, Frank Mir again. Shane Carwin, Cain Velasquez, Alistair Overeem, Mark Hunt, of course, at UFC 200. Frank Mir, beast on the ground. I mean, Frank Mir was fucking pretty nasty everywhere, wasn't he? He could get it done on multiple levels. Talk about a dude who's like really overlooked in MMA. Brock, he was fighting the best of the best at the time. They kind of clown on him, but man, he's just a fucking monster, dude. Heavyweights are not overly skilled for the most part. I mean, look at the heavyweight division today. Good grief. Good fucking grief. Don't hit me again with another Tybura Spivak main event. Don't you dare. I don't need to see that absolute slop fest. Guys like Jelton are pretty good at what they do. Cyril Gahn. Fast. Decently technical striking. Who else is in there? I mean, Tom, of course. Curtis is all right. A little sloppy here and there. Tom can be sloppy in the stand-up. Remember when he stabbed fucking Big Nog's arm? The worst arm break you've ever seen. Cranking the arm back like that was disgusting. However, the straight armbar breaks, though, where it's just a straight armbar, that to me is more grotesque than the bending of the arm until it just fucking snaps. I don't know what it is. The Nogueira one, of course, it's nasty. Terrible break. I mean, awful. I just don't find it as grotesque as a straight armbar when it just pops out straight there. Have you seen? What? What do you mean? A fucking armbar, dude. When it's just a straight break right through the arm, right? Pressure here, works down the arm. Sometimes it breaks at the elbow. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That is more grotesque to me than cranking on the arm. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just find it way more disgusting. Worst arm break fight, and who was it? There is I don't know, in the UFC, probably Big Nog. What else is pretty gross? Jacare's arm. Who was that against? Andre Muniz a couple years ago. That shit was pretty good. Only because it was an upper arm break, which is pretty rare as well. That was kind of wild. That his fucking upper arm break, but that's not the worst. Worst arm break. I mean, one of the worst is definitely Big Nog. I don't know, man. There is a regional fight that I saw a clip of. This was years ago, like 2017, 2018. Compound fracture. straight armbar. That was pretty gross. Bloody. Yeah. Worst arm break. There's also, I don't know who the fuck it was. A couple of years ago, Muay Thai, guy goes to throw like a spinning back elbow and just shatters his entire upper arm on the guy's head. And he's just like fucking dangling arm, broken here, right above the elbow. That was pretty gross. I don't know, man. There's been some nasty ones. Most of the worst ones I've seen, though, are outside of the UFC in terms of like just disgusting or like bloody, because it's people that typically somebody who knows what they're doing versus somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Jacare versus Andre Muniz. Yep. That one was pretty gross, just not in terms of like the optics of it, but just the fact that he broke his upper arm, which is pretty fucking crazy. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's very subjective. And I'd have to watch them all again to compare, like, which one's the worst. The big knock ones, just, it was such a big moment. The Jacare one, Andre Muniz. Tim Sylvia, Frank Mir. That's a good one, too. That's a good one, too. I don't know, man. Hard to say. It's not something I really think about a lot, but those are two that stick out in my mind. Just because of the stakes of them, I guess, is really it. Just because of the stakes. Anyway. I'm glad you brought that up, Wales. Gives us something to talk about. Do we have any submissions tonight? I don't think we had any submissions. Bunch of knockouts. Oh, what am I fucking talking about, dude? Main event. Brutal. Drags Roman Dolidze across the canvas. Chokes out Roman Dolidze. That was a submission. What am I talking about? What am I even here for, man? I mean, what do we have left to get into? Not too much. I mean, I might have to drop out of here, Wales. Unless you got something else to talk about, brother. Unless you want to bring anything up. A good stream. Listen, I appreciate you for popping in here. But listen, Wales, we got to bring this dude, whoever this dude was, big card collector, like UFC cards and shit, like Pokemon cards. What kind of cards you collecting, then? UFC cards only. I got a box of UFC cards a couple years ago, like as a gift. I use them as bookmarks, bro. I'll have to look and see. I think I've got like an early Umar card. None of them are signed or anything like that. You got like any signed cards, anything like that, brother? Pull the King Green card tonight, 64 out of 99. You mean there's only 99 like ever created of that card? There's only 99 of those? You got 3 signed cards? How much money are you dropping on these cards, though? Like, you just getting them in random, like, little Pokemon packs or whatever? You know what was a really funny DC, Dan, Hendo, you got all 3 of those signed? Holy shit. I mean, those are like legends of the game. That's not even current guys. That's fucking sick, dude. You know what's a funny arm break? It wasn't an arm. It was a dislocation. Jamal Hill, Paul Craig was one of the funniest ones just because of the way that played out. That one, I just won't ever forget that one because of how goofy it was. Like, that's a modern day. That's a modern day. Nah, you buy the boxes. How much are the boxes, dude? That's top three. You think the Paul Craig Jamal Hill's a top 3 arm break? I don't know if it's top 3, but it was definitely one of the funnier ones. Depends on how much you want to spend. Yeah, but like on average, like how much is like a box? I mean, it's up there. Oh, you mean the sub? Yeah. $30 for like a box of them? That's not too bad. And you got some signed ones out of that shit? Dude, I got jack shit out of my box. They didn't get shit out of my box. I'm kind of disappointed. Ah, I just had bad luck, I guess. Unless I got some cards that are worth something, but I don't remember any. I had an Umar one from like 2 or 3 years ago, so maybe that's worth something now. Probably not. Do you resell them or anything? Or you just collect them? I know like reselling is a big thing. Gotta let me know, bro. Got a few signed memorabilia. That's sick, dude. That's sick. Listen. I'm into the full violence shirts. So when they got a good shirt, I'll buy a full violence shirt. Those are pretty sick. Something I could rep on the daily. I'm just collecting right now. Okay. Would you sell those though? I mean, I feel like a signed Hendo and a signed Jens Pulver and a signed DC is worth some real shit only because they're not fighting anymore. If nothing else, because they're not fighting anymore. Former champions to some respect. For the right price, I would. I don't know. I like, to me, I wouldn't. I don't really care about selling them. I just keep them because they're cool. Kind of like you, just collecting some memorabilia. I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't enjoy going in person to watch the fights all that much. It's fucking epic when the crowd's going, but like I like to watch them from home, dude. Anyway, Jens Pulver, first UFC lightweight champ, 4 of 20. Is it 4? So there were 25 of these cards, and let's say he signed 25 of them, and you got 4. You got number 4 out of 25. You didn't get 4 of them. Right? That's pretty cool. So only 25 of those in the world, and you got 1 of them. Pretty damn cool. Got 1 of them. Yep. I got you. Took me a second to figure that out. Yikes, bro. Look at this shit. What the fuck, man? Fucking fluffy, bro. Dude, that is nasty, bro. You know what submission I really like? John Jones, Lyoto Machida. Nasty as fuck. Drops him on the ground. Brutal. Got it in bulletproof glass. Not messing around. Shit, dude. I don't blame you. Probably got it bolted to the wall, too, so nobody steals it. I respect it. Huh. Wales, what do you take? How do you, before we get out of here, what are you thinking about the whole Francis PFL thing? Good idea. I'm going to bolt it to the wall. Hey, bro, that's what I would do. You pour cement. You got a big cement block. You put that thing in cement. Ain't nobody stealing nothing. Wales, as a hardcore fan like yourself, as an old school traditionalist MMA fan, Francis Ngannou, Dana White, Dana White thinks Francis is the worst human being in the world. Francis, of course, goes over to the PFL. He's had some trouble. His son tragically passed away. Of course, I get that. His pet project was this PFL Africa thing. And there's been 2 events that have been absolutely fantastic. Great finishes, great fights up and down the card. And he is noticeably absent from them. They're paying him a shit ton of money, and he's not showing up. What the fuck? Like, is Dana White actually a fucking genius? I mean, what is going on here with Francis? How do you not show up for this? I don't get it. Maybe he's got some family issues, personal stuff. Probably what it is. But if he's not there in December for their next card, just like when they tried to sign Fate. I mean, right. Francis was asking for this, asking for that, whatever. But what do you, I don't know. The theories and the speculation is starting to come out of the woodworks. Is Francis a disingenuous guy? Does he put on the friendly face? I don't know. I feel like he's a pretty smart guy, a pretty nice guy overall, but it just begs the question, was Dana right? Is this guy two-faced? Is he doing this for some other reason? He's getting so much money from the PFL. I mean, they are ruining their business for Francis, and then he's not showing up to the passion project that he has going. I mean, whatever. Fuck John Jones, but no, he just wants to get paid. I don't know what to think, man. And listen, this isn't even actually John Jones, but it just makes me laugh. Anyone excusing Francis needs to check themselves. There's no good reason he couldn't have made it. I mean, there's good reasons he couldn't have made it. Would be a good signing for the White House card. Who, Francis? I don't know if Francis is ever coming back, bro. Fluffy's high as shit. All right, brother. Good for you. John would shit on any heavyweight right now. Wales, you got to be joking, too. You got to be joking. He was getting tagged up by Stipe, my brother. Don't diss Bones, bro. Listen, I can say he's probably the best to ever do it, but I can still say fuck the dude for what he's been doing. Holding up divisions. Actively avoiding Reyes. Actively avoiding Tom Aspinall. What was the first John Jones fight I watched? The first one I watched was him and Gus won. The first one I watched live that I was really invested in. I don't remember if it was the Thiago Santos or the Anthony Smith fight, but one of those. I wasn't very impressed by him. I got to be honest with you. As a casual fan, stepping into those fights, not very impressive. If he was 45 doing that to Thiago and to Anthony, I'd be more impressed. But I wasn't very impressed by it. And I was not very impressed by the Dominic Reyes fight. He fucking lost that fight. And you can enjoy him. You can think that he's great and all. I don't have the same admiration for him. Of course, you've been watching a lot longer. You enjoyed him in his heyday. I didn't enjoy him in the heyday in the same way. So I don't remember when who the fuck, what? Okay, he beat Stephan Bonner. R.I.P. Stephan Bonner. It was sick as fuck, dude. That doesn't mean I can't diss him. The fuck are you talking about, dog? I can say that he had some epic fights and he's probably the best guy to ever compete in the MMA. But he was getting tagged up by Stipe. I don't think he beats Aspinall. He's actively running away from Aspinall. You were there in Jersey? Dude, that's fucking awesome. Versus Shogun. He's had some fucking epic fights. Don't get me wrong. Had some epic finishes. Brutal finishes. But I can still say, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit as a person. You made me do it, bro. Go ahead and call me a casual for just objectively seeing what he did to Reyes and objectively seeing what he's done to Tom. It's embarrassing. Also, come on. How do you beat the fuck out of Stipe and then round 2 he comes back and he's laying shots on you? How do you let that happen? If you're still so good, how do you let a 65-year-old Stipe Miocic do that to you? Stipe didn't look like he belonged in any kind of mixed martial arts fight against any heavyweight in the entire world in there. He was so slow. And John Jones was getting tagged up by him. I missed half of his career. I've seen his entire career. I missed his rise. I missed him at the time. But Wales, I don't give a fuck, dude. Are you telling me that Stipe Miocic is the best heavyweight in the world right now because of what he achieved? You can't say that. I don't give a fuck. John Jones is not the best light heavyweight in the world. He's not the best heavyweight in the world. He's done, bro. He's fucking retired. I don't care if he submitted some test. I won't believe it till I see him back in the octagon. He may beat Tom Aspinall, but I don't believe that he's the best in the world unless he fucking proves it. You young fellas got to do research. It's called UFC Fight Pass. Go rewatch the fights, which I've done many times, many fighters back in the day. I can diss him as much as I fucking want because he's an embarrassment as a human. And he's a fantastic fighter. But what he has done to the sport is absolutely embarrassing. And for you, Wales, I hope you do not overlook that shit, but it's embarrassing. It's pathetic what he's done. And it's absolutely abhorrent the way that the UFC treats him. Like he's ever sold over 1 million pay-per-view buys, like he's some kind of star on the levels of Conor McGregor. Of course, he had the Nike deal, the Gatorade deal. He's hot shit. He's hot shit. And he's a fantastic fighter. But no longer. He's a fucking fat heavyweight. He said he was going to take off 3 years and put on weight and do all this shit. He didn't do shit. He came in fucking fat as shit and did some damage to some heavyweights because he's a great fighter. Glover Teixeira got the belt at 41 years old because he's a great fighter. He's one of the best light heavyweights to ever do it. Even in his past his prime was able to grab the belt. You're wrong, pal. About what? About what? Come at me with some hard knowledge about why did this guy look like an absolute fucking fat ass at heavyweight? You said you took 3 years to bulk up. Now listen, it takes time to put on muscle. It's not easy to put on muscle. But why'd you come in there with your gut hanging to the fucking floor? I don't get it, man. He's a joke. He's an embarrassment of a human. But he's a great fucking fighter. No one will beat John. I mean, technically somebody fucking beat him. Now, that's not real. Who was that? Fucking Matt Hamill? Good grief. It's not a real loss, but I mean, he did break the rules at the time. Calling him Roy Nelson? Not quite Roy Nelson, but he's halfway there. He's halfway to Roy Nelson at this point. I fear for John's safety, and I can't say the same about many of the other best fighters of all time, bro. I fear for his safety. One of the greatest in the sport's history, and he may embarrass the sport even further in retirement, which is what I kind of worry about. Because the UFC seems to not want to promote Tom. You remember him, Roy Nelson? Yeah. The big boy himself. All right. Wales, I've enjoyed having you here. It's been fun. Chatting shit, talking shit, having a laugh. But this might be it, my friend. This might be it. Hope you have a good night, brother. I really appreciate you for coming in here. Love that you were here, giving us something to talk about, not just me rambling for hours and hours, because clearly I'm just a fucking casual. Clearly, that's all I'm worth. That's all I'm good for. John Jones, one of the best to ever do it, but he's a shit fella. He's a shit fella. Good stream, pal. I'll see you next time. Wales, anybody else out there, like the stream, enjoy it, rewatch it back. Wales, of course, he's the hardcore who's been doing this thing forever. He's been watching for years and years and years. Listen, I can only enjoy the fights after the fact. Don't take anything personal. I'm not taking shit personal. When I get off of here, I'm off, bro. I'm turned the fuck off. These people that are obsessed with social media, I pity them. I pity them. I just hop on here, have some fun with my brother Wales, chat some shit. I'm just turning it up to an 11 so that it's a little bit more entertaining than me just talking in a monotone voice, because I have an uninteresting monotone voice. That's why I got to hype it up a little bit. And I don't appreciate, because I do think that some of the old school fans like yourself, some OGs, the legends of the game, do have some biases that I completely disagree with. And there's some TikTok fans which annoy me even more than yourself, because at least you watch fights and you understand the sport. TikTokers, they don't. And that pisses me off more than you ever could, Wales. So I appreciate you for being here. Have a good night, my friend. God damn it, there's like 4 fucking people in here watching. Somebody say something other than Wales, or I will cut this thing off immediately. Fluffy gets it done. Erceg's back in the win column. What else? Elijah Smith had one of the best knockouts you will see this year. Throwback to Rampage Jackson. What a fucking legendary career that guy had. Marred by some interesting fights. But Elijah Smith reincarnated the soul of Rampage and got that shit done. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Like the stream. Go back, rewatch it. Have some fun here. We're just chatting it up. Trying to bring the entire fan base of MMA together. Wales, the old school, the OG, the legend himself. Let's get some TikTokers in here. Some idiots that we can bring down to our level. That we can bring to the confidence of a true hardcore discussion. Because that's all we're here for. Just to have fun, chat it up, talk some shit, have some fun, have some laughs, make fun of each other. Stay safe out there, everybody. Have a good night. Enjoy your evening. And don't get too lost in the banter. Don't get too lost. Don't take anything personal. Like Wales said, it's all just fun and games. Social media is fucking fake. It's not real. Just enjoy your life for what it is.